time for the Paradise Fibers Fiber of the Month Club unboxing for June. We have some bright rainbow tie-dye looking bag, which is perfect for this month, which is Pride Month. So happy Pride Month. Let's see what's in the bag. Oh, all right. I've got my cards. I'm going to set them to the side for now and get straight into the goodies. So we've got this, what I'm assuming is some sort of faux silk drawstring bag that's white, and inside, more white. Ooh, okay. So this is very compact and very white and very soft and smooth, and it's looking like a long staple. So let's go ahead and find the end here. Oh, here we go. I have no idea what this fiber is. It could be anything, but it's very soft. Pretty long. Okay. Looking up close, it does look like it could potentially be some kind of blend. There is some kinky in it, and I'm wondering what causes that. Sometimes silk causes that. So what kind of fiber is that? 4.2 ounces of a mulberry silk brick blend. What is this? Mixed staple lengths, extra wide, thicker comb top that is easy to spread out and dye, wet felt, blend, or spin. Is that all that it says? It doesn't say exactly. Oh my god, this is luxury in a bag. Luxury in a bag. It's super soft, super silky. I am in love with just how nice this is, but boy is it slick. It's slick. Super slick. Let's see what's in the rest of the bag. Oh, this is cute. Oh. Alright, so this is the rest of the bag. And it looks like it's bubble wrapped inside. So it's a yellow mesh see-through bag with some bubble wrap goodies. 4 bubble wrap goodies. Let's take a look at the T for, oh my gosh, well the sticker just popped right out at me. It is like a sheep snow cone. This is so cute. Oh, I love the stickers that they put in these bags so much. A happy little snow cone sheep. And then the T is mango passion fruit. Yum! Perfect for the summer. I'm excited to try that. Probably iced. So what is in these? What is in these? They're each a different color, so let's see. Oh, popping them. Oh, okay. It looks like pigment. It definitely is some kind of pigment powder. Could it be dye? I feel like it very likely could be dye. So let's see what colors we got. Alright, so I got yellow, blue, and this purple, and then this container with little circles in it. So let's see what the cards say. So the fiber is a mulberry silk brick, approximately 4.2 ounces. Centuries-old luxury fiber. It's a 15 micron blend with mixed staple lengths, extra wide, thicker, combed top that is easy to spread out and dye, wet felt, blend, or spin. Notions bag has 3 Paradise Fibers fine acid dye powder pots, approximately 1/2 of a teaspoon each of magenta, yellow, and turquoise in coordinating dye pots. There is the Snow Cune. I'm struggling to read this so hard. 1 Snow Cune vinyl sheep sticker, 14 rainbow lace rubber stitch markers in a clear pot, 1 mango passion fruit stash tea, and yeah, that is everything in the bag. And so this month is recommended ice dyeing. This is so cool. I have never tried ice dyeing before, and we're gonna do things a little bit differently for this unboxing. I'm actually gonna take you through dyeing and spinning and swatching this fiber in this video. So buckle up. Summer dye day. Take on a new project this summer with our quick and easy ice dyeing tutorial featuring our new mixable acid dyes. Only 10 grams of this fine dye powder is needed to dye up to 2 pounds of fiber, which we don't have that much, so we don't need to use it all, but we could. With 13 vibrant colors available, 3 of which are included in your package, a full spectrum of colors can be achieved under the right conditions. All 13 colors will be available to purchase on our website at the end of June, so keep an eye out at the end of June. We love this formula because the dye powder is extremely fine and a small amount will fix quickly to wool, silk, and nylon with ease when acetic acid, white vinegar, and heat is added. Our acid dyes meet strict regulations in order to prevent harm to humans and our environment, including the aquatic environment. Ice dyeing is so simple to do and only takes a sunny afternoon, a bag of ice, a wire baking rack, and a container to achieve a unique tie-dye effect on your fiber. When ice dyeing, acid should, of course, be handled with the normal care that you would handle any concentrated powder dye or craft chemical, which is to wear a mask when handling the powders, wear gloves, and use utensils that will never be used for food. Silk bricks are an excellent fiber to ice dye because the fiber has an extra wide surface area that traps colors nicely in multi-color pools of dye as the ice melts. To dye, let your silk brick soak submerged in warm water with vinegar added for up to 48 hours or until fully saturated with the water. Set up a container outside with a wire baking rack on top of it and lay your wet silk brick out across the surface area. Completely cover the top of the silk surface area with ice and sprinkle your dye powder onto the ice in the design of your choosing. Let the magic of the sun do the rest of the work. As the ice melts, the powder dye will mix, pool, and swirl together, dripping across the surface area of the silk while the excess dye stuff collects in the container below. After the ice has completely melted, you're ready to rinse any excess dye out. Do so in room temperature water until the water runs clear. The resulting fiber will have a multitude of lustrous colors dappled throughout. These colors will mix and blend beautifully when spun or used in a wet felted project. That didn't go quite how I expected it to go. Oh boy, you guys. So it is what it is. I talked to an indie dyeing friend who mentioned that she has had issues in the past with certain blue dyes sticking to silk in a deep saturated color. So I think that's part of the problem, in addition to the fact that it wasn't hot enough outside, and that when I rinsed my fiber in the sink, it sat in that dye in the bottom of the container, and it kind of overdyed the whole thing, losing that rainbow appeal. Not that this is, I mean, it's not horrible, right? It kind of, but it's not a rainbow. I tore off a chunk of this anyways, and I spun it up. I wanted to test out this fiber. That's something I want to start introducing with these unboxings, is I also want to spin the fiber so I can talk more about what it's like. So, this was also hard. I struggled to spin this fiber. Now, I will say, this is 100% mulberry silk brick. Mulberry silk is a specific type of silk that comes from a specific silkworm that only eats mulberry leaves. It gives you a very nice quality silk that is different than other types of silk, tussa silk, raw silk. This is a nice quality silk. I'm not knocking the quality whatsoever. It's really, really soft. It's really nice. It's hard to spin. And maybe that's because I've never spun a silk brick before. I've spun silk blends that have at least less than 30% silk in them. And I've also spun silk hankies. Now, from my experience of spinning silk hankies, I know that silk staple lengths can be really long, and you are just drafting that fiber so far apart. This is mixed, so you've got some of those longer pieces, but also some of the shorter pieces, and that's what makes it so difficult to spin this fiber. It's slippery, it's so slick, and you need a high twist on your wheel with a low tension, a low take up. So I struggled a little bit just setting up my wheel to begin with. I put it on my smallest whirl, which is the fastest spinning whirl. to get as much twist in as fast as I could, and then I set the tension to as little as possible so that my wheel wasn't trying to take this already slippery fiber out of my hand. Let me just go ahead and say I do not recommend this for beginning spinners. Absolutely not. But if you are a adventurous beginner spinner who's interested in upping your experience and learning new skills, then go for it. I definitely became a better spinner after playing with this fiber. I now approach fiber in a different way, especially if it's got a high silk content. So I am grateful for that experience, but it was difficult. So what I ended up doing to spin the fiber is I stripped it down into manageable pieces. So I would grab off a small chunk of fiber and then split it into thinner pieces and then pre-draft it and then slowly work and join those pieces. Otherwise, if I try to leave it full, let me show you what that looks like. I tried to leave it full, it's just so much fiber and it's so thick. What ends up happening is whatever you're pulling, and I can already feel it, right? I pull here, can you see? It's pulling behind that knot. That's how long that fiber goes. So it's just, it can be difficult to see. And then some of it's really short. So it's difficult if you're trying to handle the whole thing at once. Break it off into smaller pieces, break them into thinner chunks, and then go ahead and pre-draft those a little bit before you get ready to spin it. It's gonna save you time behind the wheel, and it's going to help you be a little less frustrated when it comes to spinning it. I think that it makes a really nice single, but I also really like how it turns out plied. So I chain plied my singles, and I got this gorgeous yarn from doing that. This is only 23 grams of fiber because I didn't want to spin all of it up, just a small sampling, and I think that it turned out pretty well. There are some areas that are a little thicker than others because some parts of the fiber was kind of, I don't know how to describe it, just kind of thicker and clumpy, if that makes sense. I went through as I was spinning and picked out clumps to the best of my ability, but some of them just kind of got through on me. So there are some areas that are thicker than others in the yarn, but I think that it knit up into the swatch beautifully, and in the end results you can't really tell all that much. So I knit this swatch on a US 6 4.0 millimeter needle, and I think that it was a great size choice for this yarn that ended up at about a sport to DK weight overall once it was all plied and washed and set. And the swatch is super drapey. Like, I think it turned out really well. You can't see through it, but it's still light and airy. What's really nice about silk is it's shiny. You have a nice sheen to it. It's got really great drape. It's smooth. It's very soft, like easy to wear. And it's very durable because of that long staple length. So it does make a great option for something like a summer top, a summer tee, or a nice shawl, even like a lacy one, something a little more luxurious, not necessarily for warmth, but maybe more for fashion. I was gonna say fashion or decoration, but fashion is what I meant. So with the chain ply, you can see the area where the colors were a little more mottled. You get a variegated effect. The areas where the colors were longer without touching another color, you get this cool striping effect. So I think depending on the way that you dye it, you could do some fun stuff. And you know, you wouldn't have to chain ply it. This is just an option. And easier for me sampling. It only takes 2 bobbins to chain ply, so I didn't have to worry about clearing off all my other bobbins. This swatch took half of my spun up yarn. I only have this much left. So I crocheted a swatch as well. I think the crochet swatch could have used a smaller hook and a denser gauge. I used a 4.0 millimeter hook to crochet this, which I think is an F, and it's a little too see-through for my liking, although I think that this fiber would make a great mesh top. But even at a denser gauge, I think you would still get the drape, even though this is crochet. The silk gives you that drape and flow that you want from a garment. It would also make an amazing shawl if you were interested in something like that. But I think another thing that you could do with this fiber is keep it as a single and then hold your single with another yarn to make it bulkier and use that strand of silk as like a stabilizer, something to make it sturdy. I have an example of what I'm talking about here. It's not silk, it's wool, but to show you an idea of what you could do, this hat I knit for my daughter, I used Haiku Simplicity, which is a DK weight wool acrylic nylon blend with one strand of a single of hand spun. And when you do something like that, your fiber goes farther. I'm sure that this single of hand spun was less than 25 grams of fiber, and you get longer color repeats too, since you're not chain plying it back on itself and you're keeping it as a single. It's ideally a third longer of a color repeat. And so I think if you dyed your silk in long color repeats like this, you could use a single strand held with a solid color in a hat, in a sweater, in a scarf, and that's going to add some drape, but mostly the stability is what that silk's going to give you by reinforcing whatever it is that you're making. So I think that would be another great option for this fiber as well. So overall, my thoughts, not for beginners. I definitely don't recommend this as one of your first spins, but I do recommend this for people feeling adventurous, as well as people looking to expand their skill set of spinning. The key to learning is it being difficult. I struggled with this, which means I was learning, which I love to learn, as you guys all know. So I am very grateful for this experience. I do recommend it for that reason. But do I think that it's worth buying silk brick to make silk yarn? I'm not quite sold. I think that I just want to buy 100% silk yarn if I want to work with silk or a silk blend. So that's how I feel about this at the moment, which it could very well change in the future, but that's where I am now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments down below, are you excited about the spinning coming with the unboxing and my opinions based on swatching with the fiber and kind of tips and tricks to work with it and options for projects for it? Also, have you ice dyed? Let me know down below. Did that work out for you? Did you also get the Paradise Fibers box? How did that go? And have you spun silk bricks before? Do you have any tips? All of those things I would love to know. Let me know down below. If I get enough comments, I can make a follow-up video kind of touching base on those comments as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Happy crafting! Bye!